Bio-Gro. Q&A. Everything you asked about what Bio-Gro does with Stephen Adley, CEO of ISatori. Welcome back.
Should we trade places this time? Mix it up a little.
Is this my good side? I don't know. It's like I'm sinking in the couch. I keep getting lower and lower. I think I've broken the thing. Okay, so best time to take is pretty much the subject we're going to try and cover. But again, these questions were so all over the place. Categorizing them was a bit of a chore. When should you expect to see results? I know it won't be immediate, but you give a timeline, either around months or bottles. When can one expect to see a difference from taking Bio-Gro?
Well, there's three particular and more profound results that you're going to experience from taking Bio-Gro. And the first is improved recovery. And you're going to notice that right away. And that's your body's ability to recover from the strenuous workout, get back in the gym sooner. And that happens within the first week. After that, an improvement in strength, an improvement in your strength is going to be within the first 2 to 3 weeks. And then with continued use, and again, you want to continue to use Bio-Gro just like you do aminos or protein, you want to take it every day. After about 8 weeks, you should see respectable gains in lean body mass. Now, again, I want to be real careful to make sure people understand, I'm not trying to advocate that you take Bio-Gro today, you turn into the Incredible Hulk tomorrow. That's not how it works. It's something you need to use and keep in your body every day, but you will experience improved recovery right away, improved strength within a couple of weeks, and improved lean body mass within continued use within sometime that 4 to 8 week range.
Fantastic. What's the best time to take it? Around training? Basically, when do you dose this thing, man?
Well, that's a good question. That's something we've actually learned more about as we've gone through the clinical trials. So we know that you need to take at least 2 servings a day. One of those servings needs to be at or around your workout. That's when your body's undergoing the most protein synthesis demands. So one thing we have found out is that before we are advocating after you trained as sort of a post-workout recovery, and what we have found is that it's more optimal to take it either before you train, so a lot of guys are mixing it with their pre-workouts, or while you're training, mixing it with your aminos. I know this morning at the gym we mixed it with the fuel, machine fuel. It tasted great, mixes great. But while you're training or before you're training, at least 1 serving, because that's when your body's undergoing the most protein synthesis demand. The other serving needs to be somewhere between 5 and 8 hours apart, whether that's AM or PM, depending on when you train.
Okay, that's simple enough. Some people are actually saying they're getting bigger pumps after a week of using Bio-Gro. Why?
Well, you know, that's a great question, because one of the things we learned in the field study was that a lot of the participants, over 70% of them, said they were experiencing greater pumps. Now, that wasn't something we expected, and Bio-Gro is not intended to deliver a pump. It's not a nitric oxide product. It's not anything that's intended to be pump producing, if you will, aesthetically. But I think, and this is just a theory, I think that Bio-Gro does more than just amplify protein synthesis. I actually think it makes things that you're using work better. So in other words, if you're mixing it with your pre-workout, I think it's amplifying what's in your pre-workout to possibly make it work better and thus give you a better pump. And again, that's purely speculation, that's theory, but we've heard this a lot over and over again. So it's the only thing at this point that seems to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're just trying to find something to make sense of it. And I've actually heard the same thing. We get emails on that all the time. Okay, so this guy took it for like a week, took Bio-Gro for a week, and discontinued it due to not being able to sleep. Can this affect your sleep?
You know, actually, we've heard the exact opposite. We've actually heard people telling us that it enhances your sleep.
I actually think my sleep has been good lately. And
I have no reason why, or an explanation, or any science to validate why or why that wouldn't be. But I actually haven't heard, because there's no stimulating properties in there whatsoever. So I don't know why that would be preventing him from sleeping. There may be other lifestyle factors that are getting in the way of him being able to sleep. But actually, it's quite the contrary. We've heard people saying that it improves their sleep.
And let's go for one final question. If it does help accelerate and improve protein absorption and synthesis, does this mean I don't have to take as much protein?
Well, again, this goes back to, we don't want to suggest Bio-Gro be a replacement for macros. I actually think that it should be augmented in terms of the amount of protein you're consuming, ensuring that your body is able to utilize, not absorb, but utilize every gram of protein, every gram of aminos circulating in your blood, that the Bio-Gro should be used in addition to. So I wouldn't substitute it for protein, I would use it in addition to ensure that your body's utilizing all that protein, all those aminos, creating that super physiological effect, allowing your body to synthesize protein at a greater rate than it can on its own, giving you the ability to grow new lean body mass faster.
And here's one more. I'll answer this one if you don't mind, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Do you take more protein while taking Bio-Gro since it basically utilizes all protein? Well, it's going to help you utilize your protein, but the thing is, what are your macros? At the end of the day, if you're trying to gain or lose weight, your protein will be set there. What it will do is the protein you are intaking based on your current macronutrient set based on your goals, Bio-Gro will help that. So I'm not going to recommend, if you're taking 200 grams of protein, jacking it up to 300, raising your caloric level by that much just because you're taking Bio-Gro. But when you do take that 200 grams of protein, it'll be utilized more efficiently.
No, I agree. In theory, you know, my philosophy has always been eat to where you want to be, not where you're at. So if you want to gain, you know, eating more protein, bringing in more calories. If you want to lose, dropping that down. But in theory, that would seem like it would potentially work if you're going to accelerate the amount of protein you're consuming. Adding additional Bio-Gro will help you utilize it.
Yeah, and that's that. So on to the next one.